calling this the Chinese virus. There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why.
From the highways of America, here's the podcast where we talk politics, a little entertainment, some culture, and this and that, from the road to your ears. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome to another episode of Trend Chat. I am your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you want to connect with us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, or TikTok. It's all the same name at Trend Chat 24/7. And yes, it came from China. Yes, just cut the music. But yeah, it came from China. All the criticism that China is getting is well deserved, and you can either call it, the Wuhan virus, the Wu flu, the Chinese virus, the Chinese Wuhan virus, the Kung flu, the whatever you want to call it. It came from China. And, also China being China made it worse for the world by trying to cover it up and suppress, the information from coming out and silencing whoever was talking about what was going on. So yeah, do not let up on China as far as the blame goes on this. And as far as what that reporter bringing up is saying, talking about, ethnicity is not not a cause of the disease, which but we're talking about the location of where it came from, not someone ethnicity. So, speaking of that, now see, this is one of those situations where, for President Trump, where I feel like he reacted the way I would react to someone asking such a question. Actually, I would have wanted him to go a little bit further. I like how he did it to another reporter, which that brought up someone said that someone in his administration used the term Kung flu, and how President Trump just had the reporter basically say the word, say it like 2 or 3 times. And I should have actually played that one, but that's how I probably would react. I'd be like, well, okay. If that offends you so much, I'm pretty sure the People's Republic of China thanks you for, toting their water for them and, and sparing their precious feelings. But, how about I call it the Wuhan virus? That's not calling some Chinese. It's just, specifying the location where this came from, like other diseases like the Spanish flu, Ebola, etc. You can go on and on. Just if for some reason this one in particular is a problem. Mainly, all the reason it's a problem is because it's just another thing that the media just want to try to get on the president to. For whatever reason, even in the midst of this pandemic, they still just cannot try to just find any little thing to try to just, whatever they can to try to put President Trump, Republicans, conservatives in a negative light. Who cares what's going on in the world? That is their singular focus. No matter what's going on, no matter the disaster, the pandemic, whatever. As long as if it could make Republicans look bad, that is their focus. From the so-called nonpartisan objective media, which again, if anything you're going to hear about this podcast from any of these episodes, it's one thing I hope you would take away, is that, the media is not objective. The media is not nonpartisan. And they show that. They have showed it in the years with the Trump administration, as well as with the Obama administration. You know, how they cover both is just night and day. And regardless of the two men, it's really about the party. That's what it's about. Because whatever people will say, I know some like, well, it's about Trump because of how he acts and all that. No, it could have been the sweetest person in the world that was a Republican president, and they would still treat him the same way. So, anyway, didn't mean to go on that. Again, this is Trend Chat. I appreciate you listening. You know, I'm your host, Brian Bledsoe. We are in Wisconsin tonight, broadcasting. I had to think about it for a second because I've been driving through multiple states today. But I'm gonna talk about, you know, a bit about truck driving, I guess. I mean, if you don't know, I'm a truck driver. That's my job. What I'm doing here is a hobby. And with everything that's been going on, with you know, the global pandemic that has been going on, has one, caused a lot of panic. It's I'll put it, you know, trying to think of a comparison. So let me put it to you like this. So whenever you hear a story about a hurricane about to hit a certain region of the country, then the people in that area tends to go out and buy all the water and just all the canned goods and everything, because, you know, especially if they're going to stay and all that, if they're stuck at their home with no power, they want to make sure they have enough water and, you know, non-perishable food to get through a week or so before everything gets, I guess, going towards normal. So you hear that, and it happens every time, pretty much, whenever some sort of disaster, especially like a hurricane. And so, and after the hurricane hits and everything, so that's when, you know, truckers like myself have to go to that region and basically restock everything, because everybody just, you know, in a panic just bought the whole store out. And so then truckers had to come in, especially thinking about like Katrina. I remember after Katrina, where, you know, we drove down with all, you know, truckloads of water and all that. And we're not only going to the communities as far as giving out supplies and all that, but also going back to the stores, the Walmarts and the grocery stores and everything to restock the shelves. So, all right. So think of all that. But instead of this happening in one region or a couple of states, imagine this happening in 50 states at the same time. That is what happened last week, basically, with everyone just buying all the toilet paper and all the water and the hand sanitizer and all that. It basically was like a hurricane was about to hit, and everybody in the whole country did the same thing. So now, this week, I know I've been busy. I shared a post of a line of trucks at a Procter & Gamble in Pennsylvania that it was, you know, all out in the road, and I don't know for how long, but it, you know, the line of trucks were going out into the street, and we're all in there trying to pick up toilet paper. Not only toilet paper, but because Procter & Gamble makes other products as well, like hand sanitizer, you know, other paper towels and all that. So we're picking up all of that, and so they're busy, obviously, with everything that happened, and we're busy as well, picking it up, trying to take it to whatever distribution center and whatnot. So there's that, and we're doing that. I mean, right now, currently, I'm not picking up any of those products at this moment, what I have right now, at least. And I can actually say that because it's with everything that's been going on, having a load of toilet paper or hand sanitizer or whatever like that, it actually is considered a hot commodity, I guess, in a way. So on the road, if we get a load of something that is considered a high value load, we supposed to take additional precautions, to keep ourselves safe as far as when we pick up. And normally this is for when you're picking up electronics like big screen TVs, laptops, video game consoles, stuff like that. Well, for the next week or so, we almost got to treat our loads of toilet paper or whatever that has something that is, hot on the on the market right now, which will be like hand sanitizer or a water, anything like that. We have to treat it in the same, like it's a big screen TV back there. And which I guess I give one example is so when we go to a facility to pick up whatever it is, and if it's considered a high value load, when we pick it up, we are instructed to have at least enough gas to go 200 miles. Reason why is because we could pick up the load at the facility, and as soon as we leave the facility, we are told not to stop for at least 200 miles. After once we leave the facility, we told to not stop. Mainly because, a lot of people actually know where these, companies are and what they have. So if someone knows that Procter & Gamble has, a lot of toilet paper, and they see a truck coming out there, they may think that truck has toilet paper. And if they really want to, get it and try to, steal it from you, just like, big screen TVs and anything, they'll follow you. Or they also, as far as telling us not to stop outside of the facility, because as soon as you go outside those gates, and if you stop in between there, someone might get you in between. So that's why you're supposed to just keep going and try to go at least 200 miles. Anyway, we're treating toilet paper like that now. It's not like, I don't think it's stated that way. I haven't seen it, but it's also kind of implied, because especially if you're picking up in an area that's has like a high crime rate, some like a place just that is considered having a lot of robberies happening. So that's what we're doing now. Truck stops are as full as ever. They're always full, but they're really full now. But because we all going every which way, going to this store, going here, picking up this and whatnot. And I would also say, one other thing. So when we're bringing, these goods, whether it is toilet paper, bread, or water, whatever. I also want people to know, I don't know if you're going to the grocery store or whatever, in these super centers or whatever thing like that, and you're seeing all the shelves are empty. All week you've probably been going to the store and the shelves have been empty, and you may be thinking that that they're not stocking the shelves at all, which is not true. I will say, I'm pretty certain every grocery store is restocking. They're restocking the shelves every day. The point is, it's not being stocked fully, because when everybody panicked and bought everything, when the deliveries are coming in, they're only bringing but so much, because they're not only just bringing one particular item, they're bringing a multitude of items. So they may bring more now because they need more toilet paper, more water, and all that. So there may be more of it, but still is not enough to fully stock the shelf from where it was before. So every day they may be bringing out 1 or 2 pallets of water or toilet paper. So what is happening is we'll deliver the load, and as soon as it get off the truck, some cases it don't even get to the shelf because the people see toilet paper or see the bread or see water, whatever like that, hand sanitizer. They'll take it right off the pallet before it even hits the shelf, and it's gone for the day until tomorrow, and then another load will come in, and it'll be the same number or maybe a little bit more. That being said, so that's what's going on. So I will say this to people who, if you really want to try to get one of these items of all of them, is to try to be there early in the morning, because that's when a lot of the deliveries are made. Now, also, receiving hours at these places tend to go from, I would say, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you may get lucky if someone's delivering around noon of something, and they may have something there then. All that being said, if you wait until the afternoon, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be already gone. Whatever that particular hot item is, at least it's going to be gone, because people are going to be snatching it up all throughout the day. And so if you're going in at late afternoon, you're probably not going to find it unless it's gotten to the point to where they've stocked it up enough to where it's gotten back to where it was, at normal, at least. So I would just say that if you're really looking to try to get some some toilet paper, because you didn't catch the rush when everybody bought all of it last week, I would say I'm pretty sure it's getting stocked, but you just got to get there early. Like I said, get there early in the morning, and catch them when they come out the back with that pallet. You better catch them, because depending on where you are. I mean, I would say it probably is true in cities, your metro areas. If you live in a in a rural area, you probably are getting stocked up quicker, which I've actually have heard already from some who are living in rural areas where it's almost back to capacity. Some things are still out, but it has gotten stocked quicker, put that way. But like I said, metro areas are probably not so much. So yeah, I would say do that. Also, I would want to commend Dollar General and other stores as well, other grocery stores, who are like setting aside special time. Yeah, like they're setting aside special time for the elderly to shop. I think Dollar General has like the first couple of hours that they're just specifying for the elderly, because again, with the whole with everything with the virus and all that, and with the Wu flu, with all that that's going on, the elderly are one of the groups of people who are can be mostly affected by this disease. And so they're setting aside time, not only because of that, but also because of people keep taking everything in the morning. And so that's what I was saying about getting there in the morning. And these stores are setting aside time in the morning for them to get some supplies that probably didn't get while everybody was fighting over toilet paper last week. So I would commend them for that, for at least having for thinking of them for them to shop safely and get home before everybody else get in there and everything. So good on Dollar General and like other grocery stores. I think Albertsons and others, Tom Thumb and whatnot. So big shout out to them. Appreciate that. Also, again, like I said, these stores, these stores are getting stocked. They're getting their supplies and all that. You just got to get there early, or maybe be a little bit lucky.
with commentary as subtle as a sledgehammer. This is Trend Chat.
Hello to fans of Trend Chat and Brian Bledsoe. The Founding Project, an education nonprofit dedicated to civics, invites you to visit our brand new website. Visit us at thefoundingproject.com. Be a part of the civics movement with The Founding Project. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Hey everybody, it is Chad Prather, host of the Chad Prather Show. You are listening to Trend Chat with my man, Brian Bledsoe. Come on with it.
So you want to keep America great, but you don't know where to go to get some Trump-centered gear? Check out TrumpMug.com. And if you put in the code TRENDCHAT, you get 10% off. So at TrumpMug.com, they have flags, coins, mugs, of course. So go to TrumpMug.com, put in the code TRENDCHAT, get 10% off. Again, TrumpMug.com with the code TRENDCHAT for 10% off. All right, so I just noticed that in all of that I just said, and I also forgot in my intro to mention that we will have David J. Harris on, and we'll play an interview we did with him at CPAC. So, yeah, I totally forgot to mention that first. But I wanted to get that out there as far as for if people who are listening that wanted to, try to, hopefully they'll help them out if they want to try to get supplies and try to get those, those hot items like that. That toilet paper is hot right now. So, thanks to the Kung Flu. So, all right. So, now, and speaking of the Wu flu, the Chinese virus, Chinese Wuhan virus, the virus that came from Wuhan, China. If you don't know, the virus came from China. If you don't know, just letting you know, it was Chinese flu, Chinese virus. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not from China. That's where it came from. But with that, which has caused all this disarray, everything is canceled. Everybody's social distancing, quarantine. People seem like look like people are already going stir crazy, having cabin fever off of, it's not even the whole week for some, just a couple of days, they losing their mind. But with all of that, you have governments around the world, including ours, that is, doing all they can to try to, try to stop this, try to slow the spread and everything like that. Now, but with this, I want to go back to a quote that I mentioned last episode because I think it's something we still should be mindful of with all this is going on. So I will just say it again. Emergencies have always been the pretext on which the safeguards of individual liberty have been eroded, which is the quote from Friedrich Hayek. Just want to mention that because that's something we still need to be mindful of. Yes, we need to do everything we can. Yes, we should, do what, as much as possible to try to, slow the spread and try to, get rid of this disease and let, for everyone to get back to normal. But, I would say this, and for one, I'll plan a clip from the press conference from President Trump where, talking about, all the stuff about the Chinese flu being racist or whatever like that, whatever. But so he has been doing press conferences daily now with the update as far as what they're doing with everything. And I know from one of the press conferences where he mentioned, and look, it's something that I think every president mentions, especially when something like this is going on. to try to calm the people down. It probably calms a lot of people down, but it doesn't calm me down. It kind of makes my eyebrows raise when I hear someone say this. And so, President Trump was mentioning in one of the press conferences that, we're going to use the full power of the government to try to combat this. And I don't care if it's Obama or Trump. When the president start talking about using the full power of the government, I'm like, okay. Like that's, I understand the sentiment. I understand where you're coming from, but still, that still is a little, it's just a little scary. It just is. Because, full power of the government, that could mean a lot. But, and again, I'm pretty sure everyone has the best intentions for what they're trying to do in all of this. That being said, it's still, with all these with all the intentions that they have, I think we still need to be mindful of what our freedoms are, what our rights are, and we should not be so quick to just, lay them aside, especially when we're talking about government, because once you, give that away, I mean, one, yeah, okay, maybe they would, quote unquote, allow you to have your rights back in a way after whatever the tragedy is. In this case, it'd be a pandemic because of the virus and all that. Yeah, that could be the case. But then you're also giving them the plan. You're giving them a idea as far as, okay, this is what we can do or we can take advantage of it next time to make this permanent or something like that. Just for the government to continue to grow power. And that's just natural, really, for the government to do. One, because you have people in government. And so, yeah, of course, they're going to want to keep power, not only just for the fact to have power, but just to keep their own job. It could be as simple as that, really. Anyway, like I said, even with these best intentions, because I'm hearing, you see stories about pretty much across the country where, governments, state, local governments are out here forcing private businesses to close. And that should not be the case. Now, should they close? That's on them. That's what it should be on. It should be their choice to close. And it should be the people's choice if they want to go there. Now, a lot of these places, movie theaters, a lot of these places are shutting down already. But to have the government just come in and basically just use the fact that this is going on to just come in and just take over, basically, and force private businesses to do something like this is, yeah, that's it should be talked about more, but it seems to be everyone really tends to be, for the most part, it's kind of like, yeah, that's fine, not even really throwing a fuss about it. And I mean, like I said, I understand the sentiment of it, but I don't, this is not something I'm not cheering for. Like, yeah, that's what yay, government, yeah, take over. That's something I'm definitely not going to be doing. And now here's something a little more controversial in the sense, of, I know most people probably heard about people who have bought. I mean, one, you heard about everyone buying all the toilet paper and all that. But then you have some people who were buying like thousands of all these items and then selling it for 2, 3, 10 times as much on Amazon, eBay, or whatever. And kind of like a hurricane or whatever, where people start selling gas for $20 a gallon all of a sudden. And it's called, price gouging, and people really really can't stand when people are doing that, and it's understandable. I don't think it's right. I don't think you should do that. That being said, I don't think you should be cheerleading the government seizing someone's property, because that's basically what happened in Tennessee. Tennessee, Kentucky, I forgot what it was. But, yeah. I mean, the guy he wanted to sell it for exorbitant prices and all that. Okay. Yeah. I don't like that he did that. That being said, I don't think it was right for the government to come in and take his property, because he did pay for it. It is his. He did pay for it. So for them to come around and then just seize it, I mean, I can understand it where, okay, Amazon, eBay, they, just, suspended his account and all that because of what he was doing. That's on them. If that's what they want to do, that's up to them. But yeah, my thing is that as someone who believes in the free market, see, the thing about this is that unfortunately we don't really have like a real true free market. So when it comes to stuff like price gouging, it's a little difficult really, because if we did have a real free market, there will be other people that will be competing, and he wouldn't be able to sell that for such a high price, because there'll be others selling it for cheaper, like a free market. And who knows, that maybe would have happened. But anyway, all that being said, and I mean, the guy had to donate it because, like I said, the sites wouldn't let him sell it anyway. I just really didn't like the fact that he had everything seized, that they just went to his storage unit where he had all the stuff and they just took it. They was going to take it. I think he ended up just donating it, but donated it because he had to, really. It wasn't the fact that, that's what he was going to do, because obviously he was out to sell it. So, I feel like even in times like these, unfortunately, even we as conservatives, I think we're kind of putting our principles on the back burner just because of a little bit of tough times all of a sudden. I mean, it's easy to talk about limited government, decentralized federal, government, and, until it affects you and you're made to feel a little uncomfortable and have to make some, difficult decisions and whatnot. It's all of a sudden, you don't really want to. Limited government is not really something you want to talk about now, especially if you're a politician. Like, if you're like a representative or a senator or mayor or whatever like that, and you start talking about limited government right about now, you get destroyed across the board. You have media, constituents, all that. I mean, talking about limited government at this particular time is not the cool thing to do right now. That being said, I mean, I would say if you believe in your principles, they should be, you hold on to your principles no matter what's going on. But that seems not to be the case, because, it's oh well. I mean, unfortunately, too many people, vastly undervalue our rights and just like want to carelessly give them away just to feel secure or some sort of safety. I mean, unfortunately, we really play too fast and loose with our freedoms, honestly. I mean, just really think about it, because even we as conservatives, I mean, kind of feel like we're kind of getting complacent, and I feel like we're kind of treating our principles as conditional, in this sense. Some of us are not, but there's some that all of a sudden just have just kind of want to just hand over everything to the government all of a sudden. I mean, you sitting there was talking about limited government yesterday, and now all of a sudden you're like, okay, just take over, do whatever you want, and that's okay. But again, like I said, unfortunately, too many people. I said, like I said already, just we don't really value our rights, and that's unfortunate because we won't realize it until they're lost, until our rights are gone, and then it's too late when that happens. Also, then maybe some of us may never realize that, but you know who will realize it, or at least will feel the effect of it? It'll be the next generation.
Politics and other stuff, maybe. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
Hello, this is Brian Bledsoe, host of Trend Chat, also contributor at politichicks.com. Here to tell you about the new book called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, with over 300 pages from contributors like myself, talking about topics such as education, social issues, healthcare, the Second Amendment, and of course, activism. I encourage you all to check it out at politichicks.com, and is also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Hey, what's up? This is Kai Jones, and you're listening to me on Trend Chat.
We here at Trend Chat, we are proud to be part of the 1776 militia. Check out 1776united.com. They have a wide array of clothing, hats, shirts, art, and more that is fiercely patriotic and stylish to match. Go to 1776united.com, and if you put in the code TRENDCHAT, you get 20% off your first purchase. Again, 1776united.com, put in the code TRENDCHAT for 20% off. All right, so get to our interview with David J. Harris Jr. And like I said, this was back at CPAC, and yeah, we got a chance to speak with him for a couple minutes. So without further ado, here's an interview with David J. Harris. Hello, this is Trend Chat, and we are very pleased to have David Harris Jr. with us. He is a political commentator, author, just all-around awesome guy. I know a lot of times I see his videos where he's going on the airport with his with his MAGA hat on and everything. Just glad to have him on. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, my brother. How are you?
So, like I said, I've been following you on social media and everything, and one thing I've been asking everyone right now, because the theme of CPAC is America versus socialism, and I've just been asking everyone, how have we gotten to this point that this is even a question, that this is actual a threat now, especially with like Democratic candidates?
Well, I think it's proof that our government-ran education has failed us. When you've got close to 80 to 90% in a lot of schools and universities that the teachers and the faculty, the professors are liberals. Our students are being taught something that is not the American way of life. They're being taught that capitalism is wrong, and they've been slowly dripped this idea that somehow socialism is this achievable utopia, when it's not. But the fact that we've got so many openly socialist people running for president as Democrats, and the fact that they've gotten as much appeal as they do, it proves that our schooling system and our education system has failed us as Americans, and that's why parents should do a lot more to make sure that they unindoctrinate their kids once they get out of school, if not pull them out of school and put them in a private school or something like that altogether. And so with I guess it's a somewhat credible threat of socialism. So what do you think as far as 2020, as far as the election, how you think that will go? Well, I absolutely believe that Donald Trump will win and he'll be reelected because he's done so much for this country in the last 3 years. People want to try to give Obama credit for the current economy. Obama himself said that all these jobs aren't going to come back. And then what Donald Trump did when he became president was he immediately started to undo a lot of what Obama had did in the first place. He was undoing regulations. He was undoing restrictions on corporations. and the media gave him crap for it constantly. So you can't have it both ways. Either Trump undid everything Obama did and made it a mission to do that, or he didn't. And if he did, then do those things and undo what Obama did, then Obama can't take credit for it, and people can't give him credit for it.
And so I noticed from following you on social media that you are a fellow at the Falkirk Center in Liberty University. For people that don't know, what is that?
So the Falkirk Center was put together by Charlie Kirk and Jerry Falwell Jr. that understand that there's a rise among appeal in the church towards socialism. And there's a lot of believers that don't understand the biblical foundations that actually make a case for capitalism and limited government, as well as, it makes a very strong case for cherishing the lives of all babies, born or unborn. So the Falkirk Center is several of us that have been chosen to represent Christ in media and try to combat that rise of socialism that's especially happening in the church. So that's what the Falkirk Center is all about.
Okay, and also something that I came across that actually I just saw today is an advertisement for Promise Keepers, and I saw you on it. And so tell us about that.
Promise Keepers was an amazing movement. It's a movement for men, to get together and to be held accountable, to hear stories from other men that have really transcended a lot of adverse situations and scenarios and conditions. It's a chance and an opportunity for men to come together, to worship together, to seek God together, and to make an agreement to be the best man we can be for ourselves, for our families, for our children, for our community. And I'm honored to be a part of it. And I actually got a special code. If somebody wants to order tickets for Promise Keepers, use the code DAVID, and they'll save $20 on their ticket. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to absolutely be an amazing event at AT&T Stadium, July 31st and August 1st.
All right. So one thing I mentioned in the intro that you are an author. So tell people about your books.
Yeah, my first book is Why I Couldn't Stay Silent. You can get that on Audible, or you can order it from my website at davidharrisjr.com. And I share, why I support this president. I talk about some of the things that the mainstream media swept underneath the rug when it came to Obama and Hillary. And I talk about why this coming election, is of utmost importance, and why we need to get 4 more years of this current administration.
Okay. Now, one last thing is, so like I said, I've seen you do the videos. You go in the airport, you go on a plane, you have your MAGA hat on, you turn it backwards. So from all the times you've done it, what has been the reception when that happens? I mean, is it half and half positive, or is it? I don't know. Let me ask you.
I get a lot of positive feedback. I get a lot more "I like your hats" than you would think, or that most people would think. And it also gives me an opportunity to have open dialogue with individuals that don't understand what my hat means, or don't understand why I am wearing the hat. But I encourage everybody to wear their hats to show support for the president, especially on airplanes and in airports, because nobody's going to do anything in an airport. There's a lot of security everywhere, so it's kind of a free place. It should be a safe place for conservatives to actually show the support for the president.
All right, and if people want to get in contact with you and know more about you on social media, where would they go?
David J. Harris Jr. on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And then you can also get those links at davidharrisjr.com.
All right, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian. God bless you, brother.
All right, thanks to David Harris Jr. for joining us. And again, like I mentioned, well, for one, that was at CPAC. And, I think about it, if CPAC was maybe, 1 or 2 weeks later, I'm pretty sure it would have been canceled with everything that's been going on, which I would understand. I mean, entertainment, sports, whatever, it's like I said earlier, everything has been canceled for the most part. It's really just if you're just going to work, but anything that has to do with anything that's particular, I guess you would say is optional, really. And when sports and entertainment, in the big scheme of things, is optional, so it's not something you have to do. And so, I understand why. All these cancellations that's been going on, and everything that they're asking as far as social distancing and everything like that. And I don't know how many people. I think they're getting it now, the more information that is going out. But one thing I will say, if you don't really understand it, I will say this, especially, it's not about people like you yourself getting sick, which is something you should consider, but it's also the fact of spreading it around before you even know you're sick, right? Because one of the things is that it can take, as they say, 2 to 14 days before you even show symptoms. So in those 2 to 14 days, say for instance, if you do have the Wu flu, the Kung flu, the Chinese flu, the whatever, if you have that, in those 2 to 14 days, most people tend to interact with people, like maybe hundreds of people a day, just going around here and there, going to the, going to the supermarket, going to the gym, going to, like, you're around people all day for one day, right? Now imagine adding one day on top of, let's say for instance, if it goes the whole 14 before you even showing the symptoms. In 14 days, 2 weeks, right? you have spread this around to maybe thousands of people in 2 weeks. And so you take those thousands of people that you have spread it around, and then those thousands of people don't show symptoms, and they spread it to another 1,000, and it just goes. So I think I hope that explains it a little bit to someone who may not understand as far as why these cancellations and why they want to try to keep people, a few feet away from each other until they are able to, get to the bottom of all this. And so, and like I said, with CPAC, you had the one, and as of right now, still haven't heard of anyone else testing positive from CPAC, other than that one person. So still haven't heard anything. It's been more than 2 weeks since CPAC. That being said, even though I'm saying about entertainment pretty much for the most part is canceled, I said for the most part because on last episode, I talked about WWE were still going forward with their biggest event of the year called WrestleMania. And this is, for people who don't know anything about wrestling, whatever, if you don't like it, but understand what WrestleMania normally is every year. It is an event where people from around the globe and all 50 states go to wherever it is. So this year would have been Tampa Bay. And we're talking about over at least 150,000 people all in one area. And maybe 80,000 in the arena, in the stadium at the Raymond James Stadium where Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who actually going to have Tom Brady as their quarterback next year. Anyway, so this huge global event, basically what it would have been, would have had all those people in the same area. And I just knew with everything that was going on, okay, eventually this is going to get canceled, because they would have been the only event, if this would have went down, that would have had something to this scale going on. And I can only imagine what the reception that would have, the publicity would have been, yeah. Anyway, that being said, it's not canceled actually. It's just been changed. So they're going to have the event, but it's going to be in an empty arena, or basically no fans, put it that way. Because so they're still going to have the event. They split it into two nights, so it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. So they're they're going to do some things and change everything around, but they're still going through with the event, but they're just not going to have people there. So they canceled, that part. People can get refunds, wherever you got your tickets from and all that. So yeah, they're still going forward with it. I've been watching, just to talk about wrestling for a little bit, I guess for a second. I've been watching these empty arena shows from not only WWE, but also AEW, which is on TNT. I've been watching those, and they've been quite entertaining. And to think about it, it's the only form of live entertainment that is, I think it is, live entertainment as far as sports entertainment, I guess, in a way, that's going on anywhere, I think. And, but yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to mention that because I mentioned it last episode. And I got two more things. One is, just heard about Tulsi Gabbard. She officially dropped out. I mean, even though, she was pretty much out of it a long time ago, but she officially dropped out and endorsed Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders still holding on, even though Joe Biden has gotten a pretty good lead on him. So it's coming down to Biden pretty much now. It's only a matter of when Bernie's going to drop out. I don't know if he's going to wait and try to take it all the way to the convention. I don't know, but it seems like Democrats have chosen the tried and true slow socialism, as they normally do, as opposed to going all in on full blown socialism with Bernie. So anyway, that's kind of not much is really going on there because obviously with everything going on. Last thing before we go, want to say this. Want to make sure I mention this first before I really get into this part. I, Brian Bledsoe, am not a financial advisor. Just want to mention that. Just want to make sure I make that clear. I am not a financial advisor. So, hear that. But, let me say that first. Now, I would say, with everything that's been going on, y'all know you've been seeing everything about the stock market. Stock market been dropping, like a rock. And so, yeah. All I will say is this. If you think the stock market is going to go back, I ain't saying it's going to just explode, but if you think over time, in the next year, 2 years, whatever, if you think at some point the stock market is going to get back to the point it was before it dropped, I'm just going to go right there. I'm just going to stop right there. Not going any higher or anything. But if you think it's going to get back to the point of where it was before all of this happened with the pandemic, if you think it's going to get back that far, I would advise you to buy stock. If you got some extra money laying around, I would advise to buy some stock. You know why? Because like I said, the stock market dropped like a rock. There are some stocks out there that dropped almost 80%. Now, I'm going to say again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not no stockbroker. All I would just say is that if you can find one and find the ones that are going to be able to survive all of this that is going on and get the right stock, for one, if it goes back to where it was before all this happened, you can make, I would say, double, at least double, because it fell so far down. If the stock fell so far, you can buy all this pretty much cheap stock or cheaper stock. And then if it rises back to the level of what it was before, right there, you already made, at least double or a little, or you make money, put it that way. Again, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. But I'm pretty sure I know I'm not the first one that's saying this, but if you got some money and you have some knowledge or know someone that has some knowledge as far as stock, I would buy some stock. Because, if you get the right one, who knows? You can, yeah. It just depends on how much money you got. So. But I just want to mention that. That's my little advice. Again, I am not a financial advisor, so take that with a grain of salt. But maybe just look into it. That's all I'll say. Just look into it. Put it this way: I'm buying stock. Then again, in a year or so, I might be the one crying about it, saying I lost all my money. So hey, again, like I said, I'm trying it. I think it will bounce back. Anyway, thank you for listening. And until next time. We'll chat with you later.